morning, and thank you so much for tuning in to Wasatch Weekends for your Friday edition. I'm your host, Maddie Evans, and I love getting to be here every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with you to give you all of the great information about the wonderful things taking place in and around our community. We've got a great show in store for you for the next little bit, so I hope as you're getting ready to get out there and hit the slopes on this beautiful Friday morning that you enjoy the next little bit of Wasatch Weekends. We're going to take a look at that local weather forecast, and then when we come back from that, I'm going to introduce you to a very fun TV show that you're not going to want to miss every Tuesday on MTV. So let's take a look.
This resort report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Season 2 of MTV's Help, I'm in a Secret Relationship just kicked off, and if you have not seen the TV series yet, well then I highly recommend you watch it. And I'm here with the incredible hosts. I've got Travis and Ronnie. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So I got to preview just a little bit of it, and what a job that you guys have. All of the drama, all of the suspense, and then just having so many emotions from so many other people. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a show about relationships and at its core about communication or lack thereof. Travis and I travel around the country helping people who feel like they've been hidden by their loved ones, whether that's not being posted on social media or not meeting family, not meeting friends, and just not meshing worlds together. And we do some digging into their personal lives and hopefully sit down and have an honest and open conversation to get these people on the same page and to determine what they want to do with their relationships. So it's sometimes it's a lot of tears, it's a lot of, emotions, but it's I think necessary.
I think it's necessary too, and I think that there are some great lessons that people can learn from watching the show. So what do you think the biggest one that people will take away is?
I think the biggest lesson that people can take away is don't ignore the things that pop up when you first meet someone, right? Like if there are things that are on your mind, if there are questions or reservations that you have, talk about those things, build a solid foundation that's going to set your relationship up for success rather than sweeping things under the rug and delaying, the onset of these issues that are inevitably going to come up if you end up with that person for long enough.
Well, and you guys are on season 2, so let's talk about the most challenging moment that you guys have had this far.
Ooh, okay, maybe not so much challenging, but very interesting would be a woman reached out to us who is being hidden by her son. So it was challenging in the fact that we had to really handle that situation delicately, because when you deal with familial dynamics as opposed to romantic, sometimes that could be even more important because that's blood. So we wanted to come in and handle it with a delicate lens. And hopefully we did that and got her the answers that she needed. But yeah, it was challenging to be able to balance different types of relationships, not just the romantic, but the platonic, the familial, which is what we go into in season 2.
Which I think is so crazy. What is it like to be so invested in these people's personal lives, seeing them at their best, seeing them at their worst, and kind of their most vulnerable state?
I mean, I think that's what gives this show so much heart, right? And it allows Ronnie and I to truly travel around the country and help people who are in need of answers. And a lot of times these are people who haven't been able to set boundaries, who haven't necessarily, developed the skills to have these tough conversations. And we're just getting them either closure or a new kind of door for them to walk through and be successful in their relationship. And yeah, I mean, we're still filming right now. If anyone is out there who's watching this who needs help, You can go to mtv.com. You can hit up Ronnie and I. We're literally getting on a plane tomorrow to go help another couple too. So let us know.
And as you guys have been traveling across the country, where has been your favorite place that you've been to so far?
Ooh, great question.
I'm gonna say I really enjoyed New Orleans. It's just a great, great city.
Ooh, New Orleans was a good one. We filmed an episode in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. That was awesome.
You guys are talking about all these warm places. We're gonna have to get you out here to the cold soon.
We go to Minneapolis
Go to
tomorrow,
Minneapolis.
so it'll be like negative 19 degrees.
Yeah, don't worry. We've been there.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking the time, chatting with me, giving me all this great information, and thank you for helping people understand their boundaries and communication.
Well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And now, if people are interested in seeing the show, where can they find it?
Tuesday nights, 9 p.m., MTV.
Thank you guys again for being here. Make sure that you check out MTV every Tuesday night. That way you can see a new episode, whether it's the drama or whether people come together in the end and really come up with a resolution for their communication issues. This is a great show because there are some great lessons. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, there's a great solution that will get you out of the house, keep you nice and warm, and also keep you very entertained. So I've got Katie Wang joining me from Park City Film. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I love when you're here only because I love listening to you talk about all of the incredible films that you guys have. And you guys have one that even the trailer is just so enticing to want to see what happens. So let's talk about Women Talking.
So this is a film that premiered at the Telluride Film Festival this past year, and was there on Labor Day, and it was the hottest ticket in town. People could not say enough about this film. One, it's got an all-star cast. Sarah Polley is the director, who's just amazing. It's her newest film. Frances McDormand, Claire Foy, Rooney Mara. I mean, just all of these fantastic actors, and it really just brings this incredible story to life. So it's based on a book, and it's about this remote religious community where the women, over the course of a couple of years, have experienced assault basically in their sleep. And they have no idea what's happening. The community tells them that it's God, that they're being punished. And then they come to find out that it's actually coming from within their own community. And they're now faced with this choice of like, what do they do with this information? And so you'll see this in the trailer, but they say, the choice is, do they stay and fight? Do they do nothing? Or do they leave? And so essentially the rest of the story unfolds where it's all of these, it's a select group of women, about 15 women that are in this barn, just debating this idea of like, what is their role in this community? Like, what is what is the meaning for their life? What is the future for their children? And because it's this incredible cast, the way they bring it to life is second to none. I mean, it is just an incredible story, but just brought to life in a most remarkable way, thanks to the skill of the actors. It's been nominated for Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay by the Academy, so definitely one of the best films of the year that you're about to see this weekend.
Which I think is so cool that you guys do such a good job, right? You think Park City, you think Sundance, you think Slam Dance, you think of all these great films that in one spot, one time, but you guys continue to just bring some of the best films in from all over. And so Broker last weekend, now Women Talking this weekend, and you guys just do such a good job. So did you get to see this when it was out at Telluride?
I did, and all of the cast members were there, and it was just incredible. I mean, it was almost better than the movie in some ways, just to hear for them, because some of the actors are quite young. They're young girls that are just kind of at the beginning of their career. To be with these luminaries of Hollywood just must have been an amazing experience for them. But what was interesting is that the women, they had such a great community at the end of putting this film together that they would, defer to the younger, like, no, let her speak. Like, she's amazing. And so it was just the support that they had for each other just comes across in the movie, but then you can see it play out in real life, that they are truly have connected with one another. And just that camaraderie, that fellowship, that just sense of belonging and wanting to support each other was so palpable. It was just an insanely unique experience. And then, of course, I knew I wanted to bring it back here, but then as we get to the Academy Awards, as most movie theaters do, you want to make sure that people get a chance to see some of these films that are arguably the best of the year. And so it was just this perfect happenstance of like, I've been trying to get this film forever. And then it just happened that we could get it now as it's gotten all these accolades and folks can get to know what the film's all about before they go into the Academy Awards and fill out their Oscar ballots and all that fun stuff. But just get to see some of these films that are just so unique and so kind of powerful and, of our time.
Well, and especially because this is such a unique experience with the religious kind of aspect to it, and then women really just standing up for themselves and making this hard decision. Are they going to stay and fight and stick to their faith, but also put their foot down on the abuse that they're enduring? Are they going to absolutely leave everything they've ever known, or are they just not going to say anything and let it continue?
Right. And they are illiterate. You see that in the trailer. They have these pictures. And so they have one man that's there taking notes for them. And so it just becomes this very interesting conversation because they don't name what the religious community is because that's not important, right? It's just what is their role in this society? What is their role in the world? And how do they claim that or not, right? Like, what is that? They have this decision to be made. And we all kind of face these crossroads in our lives, but how momentous that you're not just deciding for yourself, right? You're deciding for your children. You're deciding for your parents. You're deciding for your neighbors. And so they have been left with this very heavy burden, these 10 women, to decide for all of the rest of them. And the other women have said, we trust you. You are the best of us. Make the best decision. Can you imagine the burden of that? And that's what's so beautifully dissected in their conversations, because they have very different opinions, but just very well thought out, very well articulated. Sarah Polley is such a fantastic director, not only in writing the script and adapting this book, but then how she gets the actors to kind of embody the words that they're speaking. And it's just, you see some of these actors in ways that you haven't seen them before. Frances McDormand is always amazing, but Rooney Mara, she's done all these different, portrayals, different characters. Same thing with Claire Foy. I think of her in The Crown, right? But it's just how they bring to life this very intense, but very personal story. It's something that I have not seen from a lot of these actors before. And then, of course, the young actors, how they bring it to life is pretty awesome. And we'll see a lot of great things from them going forward for sure.
Which is always so excited to see that progression of their start film, and this is an intense one, and then to see them move beyond this in their career. Now, as you're kind of going through and you're choosing and kind of deciding on what is going to go where and when you're going to play them, you've had so many incredible movies. You guys still have more to come, and so do you get to see each and every one before you bring them into the theater?
So I try to. When I go to film festivals, Sundance, of course, because we're in the home of Sundance. The Telluride Film Festival, I go to Mountain Film, which is also in Telluride over Memorial Day weekend. You can get screeners and kind of see stuff, but sometimes it's not available to you. So we also, in addition to watching films, I think it's equally important to hear from other people what they think about the film. Because I'll sometimes see a film in a festival where it's maybe not my favorite, but then I'll talk to someone after the film and they tell me how much they loved it. And so then just to hear their perspective, what did I miss? Maybe I was having a bad day, or maybe it's just not something that I really know about, but hearing how other people absorb the film and react to the film, I think is equally important in our selection process. And that's, to me, what always is the joy of cinema, right? Is bringing all these disparate people together, strangers, before they walked into the theater. But at the end, they all have something in common to talk about. And they always do, right? They have these fascinating conversations. And, sometimes they're arguing, sometimes they're agreeing, but it's always interesting. And so when I look at these films, I'm looking for that. What's that magic sauce that this film has that will generate those conversations? And so they're not always my favorite, right? I tend to like obscure French films. That's just kind of the thing that I gravitate towards, but can't do that every weekend. And certainly there's way more out there. And I'm always interested in, what can I learn? What can I see that's different? What will surprise me? And then in turn, surprise my audience. So it is this interesting kind of just journey of discovery of what can I see? What can I read about? What can I talk to people about? Other programmers, what are they seeing that's coming up that's you've never heard of this film, but trust me. When we showed Fantastic Fungi a few years ago, right before COVID, It just went through the art house world. No one had heard of it. And people literally were having riots. In Rhode Island, they had people banging on the window of the box office because they were sold out. and they were incensed that they couldn't get it. I mean, people were just, the reaction to this film was something we had not seen in a very long time. But everyone literally was like online, like, you need to share this film. Here's the trailer, check it out, program it, program it, program it. And all of us did, and audiences just loved it. So it's like, you just never quite know how it's going to happen. But there is that magic behind the scenes. It's kind of fun.
Which I think is so cool, and to hear you be so passionate about it and have this driving force between really giving people the opportunity to experience the thing that you love so much, but then opening the door for these conversations, and whether it's agree to disagree or whatever it is, you're one of the few people that get to facilitate this in our community, which is always so incredible.
Yeah, we're super excited. Particularly this film, I think, will elicit a lot of conversation. So no, it is the best part of my job. It's certainly something that I love to do and to share with our community. So I'm quite blessed. But Women Talking this weekend, you can see it Friday or Saturday at 7, Sunday at 6. Please do check out the trailer, parkcityfilm.org. And if you want to get tickets online, you can. But as I always like to remind folks, we know our film-loving folks are a spontaneous bunch, that you can just show up an hour before showtime, right up until showtime, and buy tickets at the box office too. So do not be shy. Come on in. It's a beautiful powder weekend, but the evening hours, we've got you covered.
Katie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and thank you for bringing the community together in such a beautiful and unique way.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Make sure that you check out Park City Film. You can go online to parkcityfilm.org for more information. That way you can see the trailer for this incredible film. And don't forget, they have the best popcorn bar in town, so you're not going to want to miss that either. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. With all of the great snow that we've been seeing coming our way, it's really important that you have the right gear, and the best place in Park City to get that handled is Switchback Sports, and we've got Bobby Monson joining us. Thank you so much for meeting us, Bobby.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Maddie.
I'm going to just call you out right now. It looks like you've been out there enjoying that new snow.
Yeah, sorry for being a couple minutes late, but when the storms come rolling in, you gotta take advantage when you can, so.
I mean, that's the life of working in a ski shop, and so I envy you right now, as clearly I have not been out there to enjoy all of the fresh new snow. So what did you ski on today?
Today I was actually on some of the new skis for next year, so testing out some of the new powder sticks. So a lot of fun and great time out there.
Now, if people need a pair of powder skis just for the weekend or maybe a couple days here and there, is that something that they can get from you guys directly?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can get any of our guests set up on powder skis, whether you want to come in and pick them up at the shop at Switchback Sports, or if you want to make a reservation through Skis on the Run, our delivery branch, we can have those powder skis prepped and taken to your lodging.
Which makes it so convenient, and especially with all of this snow that we've seen in this storm system come through. Now, what kind of skis do you offer in your demo program? That way, if people are maybe trying a ski before they buy a ski, they know what they're looking for.
Yeah, so we've got demo skis in our shop that represent every ski on our wall. So we've got options from Nordica, from Vocal, from Armada, from Head, from Blizzard. So whatever your heart desires, come on in and we can get you taken care of. We've got a great staff that has skied on all these skis. They know which ones are better than others for the right customer, and we can make sure that you're having as much fun as possible when you get out on the hill.
Which I think is such an important element, and especially when the staff can talk on the ski, that way they can tell you exactly how it performed for them up on the mountain, and that way you just have a better idea as you're getting that ski ready to go yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of the coolest things that I've seen happen with the evolution of skis and where we're at now is there are no bad skis anymore. It all just depends on what you like, what part of the mountain you're riding on. So having that conversation with the staff member, letting them know where you like to ski, what you like to do, they can make sure that you get on the best possible piece of equipment to enjoy your day.
Which I think there's no better way to enjoy the day than getting out there and skiing. Now, you said you guys deliver skis. Can you give us more information on that?
Absolutely. So we've got a couple different rental options, like I said, for the people that want that traditional ski rental experience. You can come visit us in store, which is Switchback Sports in Park City. It's 1245 Deer Valley Drive. We also have a location in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. But for those of you that don't want to deal with the hassle of waiting in line to get rentals, if you have a family with small children, sometimes that can be kind of a pain point. We've got our delivery arm, which is called Skis on the Run. We prep all of the gear here in the shop, load up our vans, bring it to you, and we get to fit you in the comfort of your hotel room, your home, wherever you may be staying. So it's great, very convenient, and most of all, just more comfortable.
Way more comfortable, and like you said, if you have those little ones at home, it kind of takes the stress of making sure that they're not in the way and that they're not running around and screaming, or that they're having a hard time being fit too, because it is in the comfort of their own home, which does alleviate a lot of that stress. Now, if a family makes it all the way to Park City to enjoy the beautiful snow that we have here and they forget something like their mittens, is that something that you guys can help them with, and especially if they're doing the Skis on the Run?
Absolutely. So again, if you want to come shop our store and see what we have to offer, you're more than welcome to do that. But you can also visit our website, which is www.switchbacksports.com. You can shop our online store, and we can actually bring all of those pieces of equipment, clothing, accessories, whatever you may have purchased. We'll bring that with your rental delivery.
Which then it takes the hustle out of trying to get, or the hassle, I should say, out of getting everyone ready, making sure everyone has every little piece, the ski socks, the mittens, the goggles. Sometimes it's just too much to keep track of, and especially if you're rolling with a large family.
Exactly. And especially if you haven't looked at all of your equipment since last year or your last ski trip, you might not remember that little Timmy peeled all of the foam off of his goggles last year. So a lot of times you don't realize what you need and what you're missing until you're pretty much on your way. So we want to take care of our guests however we can.
Which I think is so important. Now let's talk about the tune shop that you guys offer, only because I have given you guys my skis in the past to tune and change the temperature of the wax that have been on them. So you guys do that, and you guys have a really quick tune around service.
Yep, that we do. Yeah, having your skis tuned is crucial to making sure that you're enjoying your time on the mountain as much as you can. Like you said, there are different types of wax that we'll use depending on the temperature, both of the air and of the snow. We want to make sure that you're gliding as quickly and as efficiently as possible. On top of that, as we kind of get into the different parts of the year, the way that we tune your skis is going to change. One of the things that we do is we use a stone grinder, which puts a structure pattern on the base of the ski. And we will also change that up depending on the temperature and the type of snow we're getting. So right now we're still kind of in our main season. Snow is still pretty cold, but as we get into spring, we're going to want to change that up again to make sure that we're sliding down the hill as we should, and to make sure that if anyone has ever experienced that springtime slushy skiing where it feels like you're on suction cups to the snow, we want to alleviate that as much as possible.
Which I don't think people understand how challenging it is until it happens to you, and then you're like, I am not having fun. I cannot propel down this mountain. I'm just staying stationary.
Yep. Yeah. There's a reason why we're trying to slide down the hill. So it's a lot more fun that way.
Now, you guys have a great social media presence, and you guys post a lot of things on there. I follow you guys, and let's talk about this free demos on Tuesdays.
Yeah. So starting a couple weeks ago, we started doing free demos every Tuesday out of both of our shops. So if you've been kind of on the fence about a ski that you are thinking about buying, come on in. There's no charge. There's no kind of commitment there. So you can come in, try that new pair of Vocal Mantra M6s. You can try that head core that your buddy was telling you about, and no charge and no pressure. So come on in, enjoy the skis, and see why we're all so excited about them.
Now, if people would like to come visit you guys in the shop, what are your hours of operation?
So we're 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day.
And then, of course, if people want to follow you on social media, see when the deals are happening, and also find out more of these great events that you're doing, where can they find you?
So we are at Switchback Sports PC. And then also on our Facebook, I believe it's just Switchback Sports. So you'll find us at both places.
Bobby, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I'm the person that tells my friends to go ski those head cores because I love mine. And so people could come do that for free on a Tuesday.
Absolutely. Have them come see me. We'll get them taken care of.
I love to hear that. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and I am quite jealous of your ski runs.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me, Maddie.
Make sure that you check out Switchback Sports. You can follow them on social media. That way you can see when they have all of these great deals and activities taking place. But then go in and see the boys at the shop because they're all so wonderful. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. We want to thank you so much for tuning in to your Friday edition of Wasatch Weekends. Make sure that you tune in each and every weekend day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, starting at 7 a.m. I'm your host, Maddie Evans, and I love getting to spend my weekend mornings with you. But I think that the mountains are calling, so we all must go. I'll see you tomorrow morning.